had gone out of sight and were trying to persuade and request many people to go down and look for us. Finally, there were 4 Americans who had been camping in Sonmark for the last 4 days. They volunteered to come down and help us out. So they, with the help of sticks and ropes and all that, they came down to us and then finally spotted us after about 2 hours. We were there shivering in the cold for 2 hours, and finally they came down to us and then with great difficulty helped us pull us on top. Believe it, friends, when I met my parents again after that on reaching top, it was a very emotional reunion because if they thought they had lost me forever and that they would never be seeing me again. This is one of the worst incidents which will remain in my mind throughout my life. Thank you.
The place, Madaram, a small township famous for its coal mines in Karimnagar district of Andhra Pradesh. The time, sometime in May 1988, that is when I was 15 years old. I was on a holiday trip to my aunt's place in Karimnagar, and this was the first time I was visiting them. I was taking rest on a charpai in the veranda of my aunt's house, now and then anticipating a cool breeze. It was tremendously hot, really sultry. I was deeply engrossed in an Agatha Christie mystery story, trying my best to solve the mystery myself. The whole township was silent with a whole lot of people, all the folks having their deep and uninterrupted slumbers. You can very well imagine the tranquility, the serene atmosphere of the village. Suddenly, whispering voices of a group, probably a small group I thought, disturbed me, and then I heard heavy footsteps. Then I actually saw them coming towards my direction. All of them dressed in pitch black, with only their eyes exposed and everything else covered. The first word that I would write on the blackboard if I had a thought-storming session at that time was Naxalites, but which they weren't actually. The first thing I did was to switch off the light so that I couldn't be spotted by them. Fortunately, I didn't allow the evil in me to dominate my goodness. I stayed there, and the thought of my going inside and locking myself in didn't come to my mind, luckily. The group was heading towards my direction. They turned left and entered our neighbor's compound. They directly went to the door and rang the bell. The gentleman of that house, after a lot of grumbling in his drowsy state, came to the door and opened it. He was really shocked to see the 5 creatures. Really shocked. I didn't know what was happening later. I just, as soon as I saw the door opening, I just wanted to go there, but I wasn't brave enough. I just stood there, doing nothing. Suddenly, I saw, after some time, after a lot of quietness, I saw something being thrown out, being hurled out of that house towards our compound, towards me actually. I just spread my hands and I saw, and the thing rested on my hands. Then I realized that it was a 5-month-old baby, an infant. It was panicked, and you can just imagine how loud its cry can be. My reflexes told me to stop the baby's cry. I just closed its mouth forcibly, even though it was paining for the baby. Then the sound of the baby's cry was barely audible. I don't know what made me to do so, but the result or the consequence of my action was really dramatic. The consequence was that the group departed. Yes, they were going. Their purpose was served, they thought so. They interpreted, or rather, they misinterpreted the sudden stop of the cry as its death. Yes, they came to kill the baby, and for nothing else. 5 of them. Luckily, they didn't come to verify the supposed death, probably because it involved more risk and more danger. I heard their motor car speeding away. Then, I let the innocent baby to cry to its utmost satisfaction. Even this was a reflex action, I should say. Then, I woke up everyone, went to our neighbor's house to see them unconscious. after they regained their consciousness, they were very much relieved to see their kid safe and sound. I received showers of accolades and praises and lots of thanks, none of which I truly deserved. Catching the child, closing its mouth and releasing to make it cry, all on the right moment, were actually reflexes, or I should say, the goodness present inside me, he present inside me did that, and not my reflexes, not Ravichandra Raital's reflexes. Thank you.
I'm Roshni Pai. I remember the days when my room used to be filled with ropes, badges, ogles, paper scattered all around the place, and a lot more. When I closed my eyes, all I could think of was daddy did, that's Morse code. Well, yes, you've guessed it right. I was preparing for my President Guides Award, which is considered to be the most prestigious awards because it is signed and awarded by the President of India himself. A lot of preparation had to be done, a lot of testing camps to be attended. I lacked confidence and kept feeling, what if my attempts were not rewarded and my efforts would go waste? Nevertheless, I had a lot of people around me, my parents and friends who encouraged me and gave me all the support that I needed during that time. It was in the month of January in the year 1987. The days of the testing camp were finally announced. There was a lot of anxiety, tension and excitement as the bags were being filled and packed with uniforms, starched uniforms, clean polished shoes, socks and lots of eatables. Our parents accompanied us to the railway station and gave us the assurance that we would be successful in our endeavour and come out with flying colours. We were about 7 of us from our team. As we entered Kundaji, the place where the testing camp was to be held, I had butterflies in my stomach. All of a sudden, there was a sudden change of topic from idle chatting to memorization of the essentials. We all hoped that we would be put in the same tent. At least we would have each other's shoulder to cry on if the need arose. But unfortunately, we were all separated out and we had to live in different tents with people whom we didn't even know, practically strangers. Because the motto of guiding is be prepared. You have to be prepared to face anything. The worst part was the next day there was all kinds of tests, Morse code, Flagstaff construction, pitching the tents and whatnot. I thanked my stars that it was all over before I could blink my eyes, because any more tests of those kinds and I wouldn't be standing here before you today. After this, what happened was we were only waiting for our results. Now, have I put in enough efforts? Was I really prepared to be a good President Guides? All these thoughts kept pondering in my mind. Thanks to the mail, my thoughts were finally answered. I was really on top of the world when I heard that I was selected to receive this award, and so were my fellow mates. It was really one of the greatest days in our life because our hard work was appreciated to the fullest. Even today, when I think of the great guiding movement, I feel proud that I'm a part of it. Thank you.